Hello and welcome back to Reading with Mo. I know it has been a while since I have posted on here, but life has been lifing. But I'm glad to be back, and I'm going to be sharing you guys today my reading plans for the month of October. I have some books that I'm kind of in the middle of, but I'm also going to be taking part in a readathon this month that's called Victober, which is pretty much this readathon that's centered around reading Victorian literature in the month of October. There's different challenges and prompts and stuff. I'll leave a link down below if you want someone to explain it much better than I can with all of the different book recommendations and challenges and stuff. But I'll be sharing with you guys the books that I've picked to read for that. First off, I'll share with you guys the books that I'm just currently in the middle of that I need to finish this month that I started back in September. So first we have a nonfiction. I'll start with the nonfiction books. And we have Hidden Libraries, the World's Most Unusual Book Depositories. This is by DC Helmuth. This book is pretty much a series of different articles on just weird different little libraries all around the world, and it's really cool, very interesting. I'm halfway into this one, so I'll definitely be finishing it in October. And then one book that I started is All About Love by Bell Hooks. I've been seeing this book everywhere, so I decided I had to give it a try myself and see how I like it. Currently, my husband and I are reading this book together very slowly, and I think we're about 60 pages in so far, so I'm hoping to finish this one this month. I'm currently 100 pages into this new release, A Theory in Dreaming by Ava Reed. This is a young adult fantasy. I think it's a duology, but I could be wrong. I think there's a novella or something coming out next, so I'm not sure how long this series is meant to be. It's like a dark fantasy, not dark fantasy, I'm thinking. This is kind of a gothic, dark academia type of setting that you would describe, I guess, the genre of this book. It has really beautiful sprayed edges here, not gonna lie. They love that they very much go perfectly with the first book in this duology, A Study in Drowning. I'm enjoying this series, even though it's young adult. I feel like it definitely leans towards more adult writing, and I think also because the characters are in their late teens, I believe, 19 or so, and they're in college. So, and it's kind of a more prestigious, think Oxford type of setting. So the characters don't really read super young. I guess we'll just continue with series because that series I'm continuing with, and then there's two others that I am in the middle of or in the midst of that I would like to get to this month. The first one is The Lady's Road Guide to Utter Ruin by Allison Goodman. I read and loved the how does it called? Oh yeah, I have it over here. I can just show you guys. The Benevolent Society of Ill-Mannered Ladies. I love this book so much. It was about a 4.5 rating. It was about a 4.5 star rating I gave it last month, but I probably should just bump it up to 5 because I really enjoyed that book, and I'm very much looking forward to continuing on in this series. Well, there's just 2 so far. I don't know if there's going to be any more, but this is a cozy mystery. I don't want to say too much, obviously. This is a sequel, but when we're talking about the first book, we're following an amateur detective, and she's a middle-aged 42-year-old woman who's unmarried. So in Victorian society, this is Victorian, right? And this is in Regency London setting. So in this time, if you were that old, you were basically a spinster, an old maid, brushed aside, nobody really thinks too much about you. But I really love our main character, and she also has a twin sister, and I just love the adventures that they go on together. It's a cozy mystery, but there still feels like there's some stakes in there as well. All of the side characters were really fun to follow as well. I just can't recommend this series enough. I hope I enjoyed the second book just as much as I enjoyed the first one. The other series is the third book in the Gentleman Bastard series, and this is The Republic of Thieves by Scott Lynch. I think there's supposed to be more books coming out in this series eventually, but I don't know. So far, there's only the three. So once I finish this one, I will be caught up. This is a fantasy series, and we are following a couple of thieves. And that's all I'm going to say because at this point, third book in, I will be giving away anything that happens in the plot. I also want to throw in, if I have time somehow, I haven't even gotten to the Victober books yet. Those will be shortly. I have The Time Traveler's Guide to Medieval England, a handbook for visitors to the 14th century by Ian Mortimer. I've been in the mood to read some nonfiction books lately. Over the past 3 months, was looking at everything I read, and I only read 2. I read 4 nonfiction books in the last 3 months. out of almost 40 books. So I would like to read a bit more nonfiction, and nonfiction around history is kind of what I'm leaning towards now. So I'm hoping that this is good, because I have read one other book by this author and I really did enjoy it. So I have high hopes for this one. Okay, on to the next part of my TBR, and for me at least, the part that I am most looking forward to, and that is participating in Victober. I'm going to be reading a lot of Victorian literature in the month of October. So I have, I think, 6 books. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, 6 books that I'm planning on reading. 2 of them I purchased, and I'm hoping that they'll actually get here in time. I ordered them from Blackwell's. And then one of them is just an ebook that I checked out through Libby, and it's like, maybe I'll get to it, maybe not, but we'll see. But 3 of them are books that are currently on my shelves. So I'll tell you guys about them in the order of the different prompts. I'm not going to try and complete all of the prompts, but there are some that I will try to get to. So one was a novel featuring friendship, and when I looked online, one that was recommended that I did already own is The Tenant of Wildfell Hall by Anne Bronte. The Bronte sisters, of course, very iconic sisters. I don't know if I've read any other Anne Bronte. Yeah, I haven't read Anne Bronte. I've only read Jane Eyre, Wuthering Heights, and Villette, I believe, from these sisters. So this will be my first time picking up a book by Anne. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think she only has 1 book published, but I could definitely be wrong about that. I don't really know much about this book going into it, and I kind of don't want to look up stuff and potentially see spoilers, but I do know that our main character, Helen, she receives like support from female relatives and friends in the book, so that's why, or how friendship is featured in this book. One of the prompts was to read a Victorian book that is not a novel, so that could be short stories, plays, poetry, anything like that. And something for me, I was trying to look up, but unfortunately, you know, lending to the times, there's not a lot of Black literature or like novels and stuff by Black authors written in this Victorian period. So I decided that for one of the books I wanted to get, even though it's technically not a Victorian book because it's published more recently, it's called Black Victorians. Yes, it's called Black Victorians: Hidden History by Keisha and Abraham and John Wolfe. The authors reach back into the archives to recenter our attention on marginalized Black Victorians. Black Victorians shows how Black lives were visible, present, and influential. So this is a book that's actually been on my TBR for a while, and I'm using this as a good excuse to pick it up. Also, my library didn't have any copies of this, so, you know, I had to buy it. The next prompt was to read a book featuring a character who experiences a change in class status. When I was researching online for books that would fulfill that prompt, I came across this book that I already own. Fortunately, it's called Sybil, or The Two Nations by Benjamin Disraeli, or Disraeli, yeah, I think that's how you say it. The character in this book apparently goes through a change in class, so this will fulfill that prompt. Then there's a prompt that is to read a novel that discusses education, and you can double up on these. So I read online that The Tenant of Wildfell Hall does discuss moral education, I believe it was said. Yeah, portrays education in terms of moral strength and self-improvement. So I'm going to count this one to fulfill that prompt. And the next one was Underrated Women Authors, and for that one I am picking the group read, which is Hester by Margaret Oliphant. This is the other book that I purchased from Blackwell's that I'm hoping is going to be here in time for me to read it, but I believe so, because both of the books said that they were shipped like a day ago, so they should be here within hopefully the next week or 2. In this book, we are following the aging Catherine Vernon. Jilted in her youth, has risen to power in a man's world as head of the family bank. She thinks she sees through everyone and rules over a family of dependents with knowing cynicism. There's 2 people in Redborough who resist her. One is Hester, a young relation with a personality as strong as Catherine's, and then the other is Edward, Catherine's favorite, whom she treats like a son. And I definitely have not heard of this author, Margaret Oliphant, before. I heard her book was being picked as the group pick, so that fulfills the prompt of an underrated author. Next, we have a book that's set in a different era. So for that one, I went with The Moonstone by Wilkie Collins. I have one of these little Macmillan Collector's Library editions, so cute and tiny. And The Moonstone by Wilkie Collins I have never read before, but it's set in Victorian times, but it does feature a lot of backstory elements that involve British India in like the early 19th century. So this is the book that I am going to choose for that. I'm just trying to choose mostly things that I had available on my shelves already, minus the 2 books, obviously, that I already purchased. And then for fun, I thought it'd be fun to read this book in Victober. It's called How to Be a Victorian by Ruth Goodman. I don't know when this book was published, actually. I should probably look that up. It was in 2014. So yeah, this is not an actual Victorian book, but we're getting some history on it. And this book is all about the intimate details of Victorian life, all the way from daybreak to bedtime. This charming illustrative work imagines the Victorians as intrepid survivors of the most perennially fascinating era of British history. I think this will be fun to fit into the schedule if I can, but it's very low priority. Last but not least, I have 2 other categories of books that I always put on my TBR. One of them is books that I currently have checked out from Libby, and the other one is new releases that are coming out in October that I'm interested in. I will be doing a whole October new releases video, hopefully next week if I have some time. So for now, I'm just gonna show you guys the covers of the books that are coming out in October, and you can pause or look them up online if you want some more information, or subscribe, and I will just tell you all about them next week, hopefully. I will tell you though that of the 9 books that are coming out in the month of October that I am interested in, the one that I'm most interested in, I will share. That one is Girl Dinner by Olivia Blake. Sorry, I don't have the name right in front of me. This one's like a horror book, I believe. This is the one that I am most interested in that's coming out this month. The other ones I do enjoy. I do think they'll be good, but I'm just not sure how soon I'm going to get to them. Maybe not this month. And then as far as the books that I have checked out currently from my library, I have the ebook for Red Clay by Charles B. Fancher. This one's a multi-generational saga chronicling the interwoven lives of an enslaved Black family and their white owners as the Civil War ends and Reconstruction begins. And then we have Hemlock and Silver by T. Kingfisher. This one is a fantasy novel. We're following a healer who drinks poisons not to die but to save, seeking cures for those who everyone else has given up on. And then she receives a summons from the king because his daughter Snow is dying, and he hopes that her methods will be able to save her. We have The Bells by Lucy N. Dunham. I heard that this one is like a dark academia novel, something like that, and it takes place in the 50s. And we're following a young woman who is at this college and has a secretive past, but will risk everything, including her life, to fit in. I have checked out Joy Moody is Out of Time by Karen Main. This one is a mystery or crime novel, and it's taking place in this laundromat where these strange things are happening. It's called Joyful Suds, and we're following Joy, who is the mom, and her twin daughters. And most of her life, Joy has been lying to her twin daughters. What starts out as a colorful tale to explain how the twins came to live with her grew over the years, and she always meant to set it straight. She thought she had more time, but she is struggling to define the truth from the lies. And the girls, they long believe they're vital to the future and must stay hidden to stay safe. Joy has told them that their impending 21st birthday is significant and that they'll step into their roles as leaders of a revolution. And life as they know will change it. And Joy is right, but just not in the way that they were expecting. I'm currently listening to Little Movements by Lauren Morrow. This is a very short audiobook. It's only like 5 hours long. And I'm going to finish this within the next day or two. I think I have like an hour left. And it's pretty interesting so far. It's following our main character. She's returning to like the dance world as a choreographer, as she at the same time exploring some issues and stuff she has going on with her marriage. I really love how the length of this book, I feel like it's perfect. If it was any longer, I don't think it would work, but the length of it is very perfect. I find it very interesting, but I'm not going to give a whole review right here. And I literally just checked out 2 more books, so let's just add them into my TBR. And the first one is Pick a Color by Suvankam Thamavongsa. I really hope I said that one right. This is a novel about loneliness, love, labor, and class, and it's following a nail salon owner as she toils away for the privileged clients who don't even know her true name. And the last one is The Mad Wife by Megan Church. This book is an exploration of identity, motherhood, and the suffocating grip of societal expectations. It takes place in the 50s. We're following this like perfect housewife, Lulu, and she has tragic memories that haunt her, and the weight of exhausting expectations to keep her husband happy, her household running, and her gelatin salads to talk of the neighborhood. But after she gives birth to her second child, Lulu's carefully crafted life begins to unravel. So that is my very ambitious, about 20 books long TBR for the month of October. Am I going to get to all 20 books? No, but I am going to get to lots of them because I have been reading a lot of books lately, especially audiobooks. So I have a feeling I'll be able to get through a lot of these. Let me know what you guys are planning on reading in the month of October, if there's any of these books that you especially want me to review or to make sure I prioritize. But that's it for today. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.